Well, a very, very good morning to you. I hope you're all good. I hope you're all well. And I hope this system is working. We are live on Adam Humphries Live. We are live on Hobby Maker's YouTube channel. We're live on my YouTube channel as well. The normal places where you'd find us all. I think we're also about to go live on the official Hobby Maker Facebook page. All of the officials, get your comments in as well. This is what we want to see. As I say, we're live on YouTube. We're live on two YouTube channels. Oh, yes, we have people. Nickish, I'm sneaky watching. You said, Nikki, you weren't be able to watching because you're making fudge. You can get your comments in. This is a new way of Craft O'Clock on how we're going to work. And have we got a show for you today? Oh, my word. We have a one and only legend, is what we have. He is a presenter of many different things. He's a blogger. He's a writer as well. Not only does he do podcasts, he does TV work. He was a journalist back in the day. He has fingers in many, many pies. Nikki's in, Laura's in, Lisa's in, Jennifer's in as well. We are Crafter Clark. Welcome to our brand new home, soon to want to change all over again. We have jingles as well. Let's play the jingle and then let's get our legend on. It is the one and only Nigel.
I love that. That's fabulous. Thank you. Good morning, Adam. Good morning, everybody out there. Crafty Clark. Legend, blimey. That either makes me really old or, well, I'll take it, quite frankly, the legend thing. But yeah, it does make me feel old. But good morning. How are you, lovely man?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yes, not bad at all. So I had a bit of a late night, so I had to slap the makeup on this morning because I thought if I'm saying hello to everybody early before 1 o'clock, I think I need to get the makeup on. But yes, I am good. I'm very good, thank you. It's hot weather outside and even hotter crafting in here, so I'm good.
It is. We've just got out of the paddling pool. It's ridiculous time this morning.
How lovely. That's a perfect way to start Sunday morning.
Yeah, we've just got out the pool. Let's get straight in with this. We're going to go, if you've not seen one of these before, maybe you're brand new here. This is new to Nige. We go all the way back. This is the stuff that we can't talk about on TV. This is the stuff that we talk about that we know TV is selly-based. We know we have to sell. Everyone knows that out there. So we like to dig deep. We like to dig deep and find out the real you. Genuinely the real you. Before we start, though, and I do call you a legend, and there is a reason why I call you a legend, for the sheer fact, and I don't know if I've actually ever told you this, that the whole of what I do now, so the whole of my TV career, stemmed from you.
Really? I did not know at all. That gives me goosebumps, Adam. That's very kind. Why did you sort of watch and think that's not how to do it?
No, because I used to watch. So when I used to work at Devon Valley down at Devon, when I was an entertainer, we used in caravans. And the caravans would only pick up certain channels because the aerials were rubbish. And the hotter the weather, the rubbish the TV was. So the only channel we could get was Create and Craft.
Okay.
That was the only channel we could ever get. And at the time I wasn't in TV, I was singing and dancing on a stage. And you were one of the presenters I never crafted that I used to make sure I watched, even though I didn't know what you were talking about. I just like the behind the scenes that you used to do back in the day. I used to like the getting the crew involved because no other presenters do it. Because it's down to you, genuinely, that I do what I do now. So thank you.
Well, you know what, that thrills me because you know that I think you're very good at what you do. So if I've been in any way influential or inspirational in that, then do you know what, that makes my day. So thank you very much. It's I suppose it goes with the fact I've been around for a long, long time because I've been doing craft now for about nearly 20 years. But I just love it. I mean, it is just the perfect place to be on TV, quite frankly. So yeah, it's a win-win all round. But I do appreciate what you said, Adam. Thank you.
No, you're more than welcome. So how did it all start? Let's go all the way back to you leaving school, and then did you go straight from school to journalism? Is that how you started?
Yeah, when I was at school, I wanted to be an optician for a while, and then that went out the window because I decided I wasn't clever enough. And then I wanted to be a vet for a while, and then I thought, well, I can't put animals down, so that would be a rubbish vet, really, wouldn't it? So then I decided that I wanted to be a journalist. I was always kind of like obsessed with like pop culture and, you know, magazines and things like that. And I suppose I wanted to interview people at an early age. It's the thing that I love doing most in life. So I went to the London College of Printing. when I was, let's think, I went there 1987, so I would have been like 18. And yeah, I did a 2-year course there in journalism and business studies and learned all kinds of stuff. I mean, but this is back in the day, so it was like literally like typewriters, it wasn't computers. We did like layouts for like magazine spreads, newspaper spreads with actual sort of like paper and glue. I learned T-line, which is shorthand, which I can still kind of do a bit now. So yeah, I mean, that's when I started my journalism journey. But whilst I was there, I ended up going to a magazine called Look In for work experience. There's a magazine called La 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 Look In, which I read a lot when I was a kid, and I actually had a picture in it that I drew of E.T. Maybe one of my early crafty sort of like things in my life, really. And so I went to work at Look In, did work experience, and funny enough, one of the first people that I interviewed when I went to Look In was Debbie Shaw, who, of course, we then went to work with, Great and Craft and Ideal World and Shopping Telly in general. So, and of course, she pops up here at Sewing Street, which is brilliant. So, yeah, it was really weird that I kind of like, Debbie was my first interview, but I stayed, I did freelance there for a while, and then they offered me a job whilst I was at college. So I did my 2-year course, got my HND, and then went full time at Looking Magazine and, immersed myself in the pop world, interviewing Sunita and Sonia and all of these fabulous people. And yeah, that I knew I was doing the right thing. It's like literally it felt the perfect fit straight away because I do love a celebrity.
Well, this is true. Don't we all, though? Don't we all? So
Absolutely.
how long? So how did you go from journalism and doing all your articles with your celebrities to working on Well, it was Ideal World back in the day. How did you get that gig?
Okay, my TV journey was a strange one. So I went to work for a company called Where It's At. Basically, I was working in magazines. I was at Live and Kicking, and I applied for the job as editor on Live and Kicking magazine. And I also applied for a job at Where It's At as a showbiz editor on their website. This is when the whole internet boom came along. So this is probably about 2000. I had no idea how to put web pages together or anything like that because you know me, I'm technically a Luddite. It's a miracle I got onto this morning, quite frankly. And I didn't get the job at Live and Kicking. I got the job at Where It's At, which was a company that were basically starting up this website. It was like a youth kind of company. So it was even though I was about 10 years older than everybody else, but I went there as their showbiz editor and I was putting the pages together on the website. And then they decided they were going to launch a TV channel, which I loved, this channel called Where It's At, which was a youth channel again. It was a bit like live TV, if you remember that, but not as anarchic and rude. It was kind of like, it had a bit of it was a bit like The Word. Do you remember The Word?
Oh, yeah.
There was a channel with, what's the name on it? Janet Street Porter. I can't remember what it was called, but it was very kind of like that vibe. And I loved it. It was really cool. And I was asked if I would train up the presenters that they had lined up to do the shows for Where It's At. So there was a team of 5 presenters, including Barney Harwood, who then went on to present Blue Peter. So, I mean, it's like, good caliber. So they asked me if I'd train them up in the ways of like interview techniques and things like that, and making sure that they were sort of relaxed when they were on air, and asking the right questions and all that kind of stuff. So we did like a week of training, and then my bosses, 2 lovely people called Kathy and David, sort of said to me at the end of the week, "You're quite, would you consider standing in for a mock TV show?" Because they wanted 3 guys, 3 girls. At that point, they had 2 guys, 3 girls. So they were like, "Okay, will you just stand in and maybe just fill in for the 6th role, as it was?" So I said, "Yeah, I'd love to," because I'd always wanted to do TV. I'd applied for Disney Club and all sorts of stuff when I was younger, but it just never came to be. And I did this sort of mock show with them, and then my bosses were like, "We kind of like what you do. Would you consider doing it?" And I thought for maybe I sort of stopped and thought for all of about half a second before I said abso-flipping-lutely. So I ended up doing a show called Mayday with a presenter called Lisa, every Sunday live from the Trocadero in London. We had purpose-built studios and used to get people coming in staring in at the window, and it was just brilliant because it was a bit anarchic and it was a bit kind of like, okay, what should we do this week? Oh, let's do Vegas week this week. Well, we can't get to Vegas, we'll get to Blackpool. It was all a bit kind of like that, and I just loved the fluidity of it. And we had lots of great people coming in. It's like, I think Alicia Dixon came in with Mystique for one of her first TV interviews. We had, Bear Grylls came in one week with his book, and it was like before he became, this huge star that he is now. And it was just brilliant. I mean, we had the best time. And sadly, that didn't last very long. It only lasted for about 6 months because the funding didn't come through for it, and I was absolutely gutted. But to answer your question, it's like that's how I got into TV. So basically, I ended up doing the website sort of 3 days a week or whatever, and then I did the TV for like 3 days a week. But it just gave me the taste of what I wanted to do. It's like I just knew the moment that camera went on that I was just like, this feels like home. I mean, it sounds naff, but you know what it's like. It's like you love being in front of that camera, because I think there's such a buzz about live TV. There's such a buzz about being invited into people's homes, and that's what I love about working on TV. It's, we're very blessed to have people sort of tune in and watch, which is lovely. So yeah, so that's how I got into TV, and then that all went down the pan, and I had to go back to journalism, and I kind of like spanned a lot of plates for a while, and then I ended up going to work on a channel called Avago. I was an on-screen bingo caller, which I love. My catchphrase, is it too early to say this? I'm just going to say it. My catchphrase was, let's get going, my balls are flowing. It's like, that's where it all started, Adam, you can imagine. And yeah, we did that for a while. And again, that didn't last. So, oh no, that did last. But I then went to work I got poached by Auction World. And that's how I went into shopping telly. And from there, Auction World was chaseit.tv. That went down the pan. I've been at many a channel that's closed down. Don't worry though, this one's good. And then from that, I ended up getting a job. I was back in journalism, and then I ended up getting the job at Ideal World. There you go. The longest answer to your short question.
No, it's perfect though. So did you notice a difference from real TV, as it were, which is your interviews, which is your celebrity guests, your Bear Grylls, to shopping TV, auction TV? Because I'm guessing they're two totally different worlds.
They are, but I mean, the one thing that I think, I mean, you know this as well. It's like a lot of people are like, when you say you work in TV, oh, who'd you work for? And it's like you say shopping TV, and it's like they're like, oh, what, QVC? And then it's like, no, I don't work for QVC, although I have done. Then it's kind of like, oh, it's like, well, who'd you work for? And it's almost like they think it's not real TV. I dispute that with anybody, because to stand in front of a camera, whether you are presenting This Morning or talking about card and glue and glitter for an hour, and hopefully making it entertaining, but also genuinely enjoying what you do, it's a skill, it's an art, and it's something that I feel for me hopefully comes naturally. I enjoy doing it. I don't sort of like, I'm not pretending to be Nigel May of Hobby Maker when I'm on air. It's like I'm just me. It's like what you see is what you get. So I love being on live TV, whatever it is. It's like, yes, okay, you've probably got bigger budgets, or you probably got more people buzzing around you if you're doing stuff. I mean, I used to do like video reviews and film reviews and stuff on Channel 5 back in the day, and it's like, yeah, that was lovely, because you would get like ushered to the set and all of that. There's no glamour in shopping TV, or certainly not the one we've done, but I don't mind. It's just, for me, it's a very valid medium. And I think the joy of craft TV is that you have a beautiful audience that already have an interest in what you're doing. So you're not trying to, flog a pressure washer or whatever, which we've all done. You are genuinely bringing across a product that people already have an interest in. So I always say there's a lid for every pot. Do you know what I mean? It's like some people might not like a certain collection or a certain style or whatever, but somebody else will. So it's about showcasing how good something is for those people out there. So I think it's, I'm a great one for like a brief. It's like when I was a journalist, well, still am a journalist to a certain extent. It's like, if somebody gives me a brief and says, we want this many words, we want this, then that I will stick to. So I like to have, I'm a bit of a perfectionist about like going into shows. I need to know about the product. I need to, know the size of it, the number of sheets, all of that kind of stuff. Because if you are telling people about something, you want to give them as much information as you can. So yeah, so it's real TV. If people say shopping TV is not real TV, then I will wrestle them to the ground.
Do you find that shopping TV is more difficult because you have to think on your feet? There's no auto cue, there's no script, there's nothing there apart from a producer in your ear that we haven't got. It's 100 GSM, but you haven't got an auto cue, so you have to think on your feet. If something goes wrong, it's not like normal TV where we can retake it. Do you think that is a skill to be able to? Because not everyone can do it.
It's such a skill. I mean, you have to split your brain. So it's like, obviously you've got people, you've got producer, director, floor, whoever talking in your ear. And then you've obviously got a guest talking alongside you, and you've got people, lovely viewers out there that you were looking down the camera at. So you have to think about the person, the people that are talking in your head, because they're telling you where to go, what's going on next, and, what's working, what's not, all of those kind of things. Then obviously, with the guest, I'm lucky that I love a lot of the people that I work with. So it's kind of like, it's like to have that conversation it comes naturally anyway, but you do have to split your brain. It's great if you're in a restaurant, because you can literally be sat talking to the person you're with and listen to the people at the table. It's brilliant. So yeah, it is a real skill. I remember at Ideal World, we used to have quite a lot of celebrities coming in. And I remember one in particular. Do you remember the vet, Trude Mostu?
No.
She was, a very big sort of like TV celeb for a wee while. She probably still is, I don't know. But she came in and we were doing, I think we were selling like dog toys or something. I can't remember. And I bought Dolly, my Jack Russell that I had at the time in. And she was Trude was lovely, but she kept saying, well, where's the autocue? And I was like, we don't have one. And she was like, well, how do you know what to say? I was like, well, I've learnt the product beforehand. And she was like, yeah, but how do you know? And I was like, well, it's like, you have the information and you have to sit down and you prep it and then all of this. And she was like, yeah, but it's not written anywhere. And I was like, no, because it's in here. And I think I like soaking up information in all areas of life, but it's like, for me, if you are going on TV to sell something, which primarily is what we do, it's like you have to know about it. You can't fudge it and be like, oh yeah, that's kind of blue when it's actually green, or you just can't. You need to know your facts. So I think a lot of the celebrities that came in were kind of very, I was shocked that we have to literally think on our feet. I remember my sister years ago. Deborah's like 7 years older than me, and she didn't really have a clue how shopping telly worked. And I think she thought, and this is no shade to my sister, I think she kind of thought my job was a bit of a joke, really, just like, he just goes on telly and talks nonsense. And then she saw shopping telly on The Apprentice, like when the people come in.
Yes.
All of that, and she was like, do you have those people talking in your ear? I was like, yes. And she was like, well, how do you concentrate? It's my job. It's like, but how do you know what to say? And that all of those things, then suddenly I think it fell into place. She suddenly realized it's like, that's what we do. So yeah, it is a real skill. I think the skill is making a show entertaining. And for me, everybody has their style. My style, I think it's similar to yours, Adam, is very high energy. It's very, I'm not a hard seller. I'm just an energy seller. I just love doing what I do. I genuinely have such a respect for everybody that tunes in and chooses to spend their hard-earned cash, because especially these days, it's not easy. So I have a respect for anything that I do in life. It's like, whether it's my podcast and I'm chatting to somebody, whether it's the radio, whatever, it's like I have a respect for other people. And so I just think if we can make a show entertaining and we can make a show aspirational and inspirational, and that's why we have such lovely guests that provide all of that as well, it is a blessing. So yeah, it is a skill. It's a big skill. But I don't mean that as in like, look at me, how skillful. I just think it's... For me, it's obvious how a show should be. I feel that it's got to be something that people want to tune in and watch, whatever you are selling.
So moving on from that, and it is a skill, but I didn't really know you in the early days when I was a floor manager and things like that. Our paths would cross, but I'd never really do the craft side of it. I was always up the other end of the building. But then obviously I got to know you slightly more when the merger happened.
Yes.
And we became creating craft and things like that. Now, obviously, I know some of the reasons that you made the jump to hobby maker, and you are very passionate about what you do and you want to do the best that you can do. And I think we can talk about it now because it no longer exists. Did you feel that and I use the collective we because I was in the same bubble as you, that we were in a pressure vacuum and they were just stopping the fun? Is that the reason why you thought, you know what, I'm getting out now, and then hobby maker came later on? Or was there
for
something
me
different?
I've been in Crate and Craft for 18 years, and it was like I'd seen various incarnations of it, let's be honest. And I think I didn't leave Crate and Craft to come to hobby maker. That was not the reason I left. It's like, there was a few months in between where I wanted to spend more time at home, more time seeing my family, more time seeing my husband, more time seeing the grandkids, which I've been able to do. So basically, left Crate and Craft. Yes, feelers had been put out, sort of saying, oh, if, you know, once people knew that I was leaving, it was like, you know, would you be interested? But I wasn't interested in staying away from home. But then I didn't know that Gemporia, where obviously Hobbymaker is only 35 minutes from where my sister lives. And I don't get to see my sister enough. And my nephew has moved back into the country with his wife and my niece and nephew, or great niece and great nephew, in the same area as my sister. So now, I mean, like this morning, I've been playing with my great niece and nephew before I come in here, because my sister and brother-in-law have got the kids at the moment. So it meant staying away, but still staying away with family. And like Alan comes up with me now and again. So if it was a case of, you know, travel lodge in Redditch, no shade to travel lodges or Redditch, it's like I just didn't want to do that. But when I came to see Hobbymaker, I mean, the way that the studios are laid out here, there's like a sort of mezzanine where you can look down and see the 3 studios for the various channels. It just gave me goosebumps, and it just gave me that feeling of like, yeah, this is what I miss. I mean, you do kind of lose your identity a little bit when you've been doing TV solidly for a channel that is literally in your blood for 18 years. And then, you know, for whatever reason, you decide that you want to, when you decide that you need to leave. So yeah, for me, it's like coming to Hobbymaker, even though it wasn't the first thing that I thought about when I was deciding to leave Create and Craft, it was just it just made sense to me when I was here. It's like I got the tingles. I was like, yes, this is what I want to do. And yeah, one of the best decisions I've ever made, because it's nearly 2 years on now. I'm very proud to work on this channel. I think the way that this channel works is very good. You know, and for me, it's a channel that allows me to be me. And that is maybe one of the reasons that I felt that I needed to move away from where I was before, because I just wanted to, I mean, there were various reasons, which I'm not going to go into here, but it was just a case of like, I knew that it was time for me to go for my own, what's the word? For my own well-being. And I'm not saying like, oh, it's making me ill or anything. It was just, I needed to leave just because the goalposts had changed. It would have meant I would have spent more time away from home. And I genuinely didn't want to do that. I think you reach an age in life, and I'm 56 now, and it's like, so I would have been, what, 55 then. So I just want, 50, whatever the maths. I just wanted to, I don't know, take stock. And also, you know, I did have the idea for the podcast in my brain. I did, you know, I do work on KDO, the radio station that I work for. And, you know, that's a voluntary job, but it takes up a lot of my time, and I love doing it. And it allows me to all the interviews and stuff that we talked about before that I love doing. So I just felt dedicating so much time to one place and being away from home. And even though I was living with people that I loved, you know, away from home in Peterborough, which was great, it's still not easy when you're not in your own home at the end of a shift. It's like, you know, you can't go to that cupboard and know where everything is. You think like, oh, I'm going to, you know, oh, I'll clean the skirting boards today.
Yeah, it's true.
I've ever cleaned a skirting board in my life. But, you know, you can't do those things when you're away from home. So I didn't want to go and then work somewhere else like Hobbymaker, where I was going to be sat in a hotel or having to rent a room or do anything like that. Living with my sister, seeing the family, it just ticked the boxes. It made, you know, I've said this before, I wouldn't be working at Hobbymaker if it wasn't for my sister living down the road. And that's nothing against Hobbymaker, because Hobbymaker are brilliant. I am blessed that my sister lives down the road, because it facilitated me being able to work here.
I think you've just answered this question, but I am going to ask it anyway, because no questions are off the wall. Jill says, you timed leaving Creating Craft perfectly. Did you see the writing on the wall?
I did for me, yes, definitely. But no, I mean, it broke my heart when Create and Craft went, because, you know, it was in my blood. I mean, I think for people to have a choice of channel to go to, I've never been like Team Hachanda or Team Create and Craft or Team, you know, Hobbymaker. I've never been like, oh, this is the one and only. It's like I am loyal to the channel where I'm working, of course, but I think it's great to have choice. I think it's great for people, you know, if they're watching a TV show and they're like, well, I've seen that before, I'm not particularly into that, you know, style of crafting or whatever, that you can turn over and see something else. So did I see the writing on the wall? No, I didn't. Did I feel it was at its most enjoyable for me out of my 18-year career? No, I didn't. But I knew what I needed to do. I knew for my own personal, for my life, basically, it's that I need leave there. I mean, you know, Adam, it was not easy for me to leave there. I mean, it literally broke my heart to leave, but I knew that I was doing the right thing. So I held my head up high and I left knowing that I had made the right decision. I mean, it's, you know, I still speak to a lot of people that from Crate and Craft. I mean, you know, lots of people are here since the demise of Crate and Craft.
True.
Have come to Hobby Maker, which for me has been an absolute joy, because I love it when people walk through the door and say, "Oh yeah, Nigel did my first show back in the 1800s or whatever." So it's lovely to see so many fabulous people. But you know, I've been very blessed, like I say, to work in craft for such a long time. But yeah, I would like to think that the reason I've worked in it for such a long time is that I hope I'm liked. It's like, you know, I mean, I'm never one to like stroke my own ego, but it's like I feel that I do what I do well, and I, you know, I feel I'm a good person. So I feel that if people realize that, then that's great. So God blimey, it's like therapy, this, isn't it? I know what people feel like on my podcast now. It's like when I'm grilling them and being like, you know, tell me all about it.
I'm dreading the day the tables are turned. I'm not going to lie. Barbara says, "Love Nigel. He shows us so informative, and including people watching. Need more presenters like him. Adam, we need you as well. It would send Hobby Maker to the next level." Bless you. I should really pre-read these. Basically, the love here, Nigel, is amazing for you. It really, really is.
Well, thank you, one and all. That's very nice to know.
Morning, Adam and Nigel. I have Nigel's autograph on a card from years ago when he used to work with his TV wife, Steph.
Oh, blimey. Well, get that on eBay, reserve not met, straight away. Do you know what I mean? I mean, you say about, you know, the love and stuff. I mean, again, it's like the warmth that I have had over the years from, you know, crafting people is just, you know, the crafting community is just lovely. And it's strange. It's a bit, you know, when you try to explain to people that don't get craft or don't, you know, work in the craft industry. I mean, I don't craft. I mean, I know I upcycle furniture and that's a craft, and, you know, do all my deco pages on the furniture and stuff. But I'm not a card maker or anything like that. I mean, I did have my range out for, you know, what's probably about a decade ago now or whatever, it's probably more. But, you know, I'm not like, I don't sit down and make cards every day, but I have such a respect for the joy that it brings people. Everybody deserves to, you know, be able to smile in life. So it's like if making a card or a scrapbook or a journal or whatever makes somebody happy, then, you know, that can only be a good thing. So if we can facilitate that, then, you know, if we can bring the smile for whatever reason, then, do you know what, job is done, life is good.
Talking about your craft wife, she's watching. Stephanie Waitman is here. Hello, my craft husband. I don't know if she's talking to you or me. Punch you.
She's a bigamist, a crafty bigamist.
Steph is in the room as well. Miss working with Steph, really, really do. Let's move on then to, because you said that sitting in hotel rooms and in travel lodges when you were back and forward, and that was one of the reasons, once everything had happened, you thought, you know what, for my own mental state and for my own well-being, I'm going to go and see the family some more. Let's move on to your books, because you have roots, and I didn't realize until I'd done the research about you. It's not just a few books that you've put together. I want to say 9 now.
Oh
8?
gosh, maybe you're right actually. There was 6 blockbusters. There was my sexy 6-pack, as I like to call it. So 6 blockbusters. There was the thriller, which was The Girl Unknown. There was Quilling Me Softly, which was my cozy crime novel. And then, so there's 8 out there, but here you go. Here's a little exclusive for you. I've got another one coming out. I've got a farcical murder mystery based at a song contest. I shall say no more. Coming out soon.
So where do you find the time?
Well, do you know, with this one, this one has actually been a work in progress since 2007. So hello, it's been a long one.
Fair enough.
But I started writing this book because, I mean, when I wasn't doing the TV, I mean, basically I decided that I missed writing. So I was like, okay, I'm not a journalist. Well, you're always a journalist, but it's like I wasn't able to like just step back into magazines and be like, hi, can I, you know, can work for you? Because obviously people have got in-house journalists. So I decided that I wanted to write a book. So I sat down and started writing the song contest one, and then I don't know, it's like I just stopped and decided that I was going to write a blockbuster, because it's like I grew up like loving Jackie Collins and you know, stories like in the Valley of the Dolls and Shirley Conran, Lace, all of those things, anything that was like, you know, fabulously dramatic and full of beauty and glamour and murder and intrigue and was knicker gripping, I absolutely loved. So I decided that I was going to write this book called Trinity, and it had 3 girls in it, and I kind of like mapped out all the story, and then I started writing it. And because that kind of like took over my world, it's like I kind of like shelved the song contest one. So I wrote Trinity. Well, I wrote, first 3 chapters, sent that off to agents, didn't hear anything. Then just as I was finishing it, I got an email from a literary agent who I went in to see, and they kind of took me on for Trinity. It didn't get me a deal, sadly, but I ended up self-publishing Trinity and then wrote Addicted, my second novel, which is still my favourite book ever that I've written.
Oh, okay.
I just love Addicted. Anybody out there, if you want to read one of my books, you can read them in any order, but it's like Addicted is just, I love it, Addicted. And I think they're all on audiobook now as well, which is a bit weird. I find that very strange.
Oh.
I know they are, because the mutual friends of ours, Mr. Peter Vollebrecht, you know,
Yes.
Genevieve's husband, phoned me up, what are we now, Sunday, phoned me up on Friday night saying like, I'm listening to one of your books and it's really good. And I was like, well, thank you that it's really good. I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, he was like, oh my God, it's like really, he was reading Deadly Obsession. I know it's like one of the blockbusters. And he was like, it's really good. And I think people, it's funny because I think Debbie Fisher read one recently. And she said to me, you know, no offense, but I didn't expect it to be so good. And it's like, I mean, I am a writer at heart. That's what I did for years. So I think going back to write it, or to going to write books as opposed to magazine articles or whatever, was just something that it was in here and I needed to bring to the surface. So I self-published the first 2. Then I got offered a deal with an online company who then gave me a 4-book deal for the first 2 books, and then repackaging the first 2 and then writing another 2, which I did. Then I got another deal off the back of that for another further 2 books. Did that, but basically blockbusters weren't selling that well. I mean, they did well, but they didn't do as well as the publishers wanted. So they asked me to write a thriller, which I did, but I was out of contract, so they didn't actually commit to it in the end. And so I kind of lost my way with writing for a bit. And then I put the thriller out through another company. And I really am proud of the thriller, even though it was the book that kind of like crushed my confidence with writing, because it was a bit like, oh, people aren't taking it on board. And it was also different to my others. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can look back at it now in retrospect and be really proud of that. And then the Quilling Me Softly, I mean, the cozy crime, I'd had that in me for the longest time, and I just wanted to write it. And it's full of like crafty Easter eggs. I mean, you've got like WPC Horton. Oh, I wonder who that could be. You've got a character called Pearl Wheeler. Oh, I wonder who that could be. It's like there are, you know, I think the pub owners are Phil and Steph. It's like, do you know what I mean? Well, they're not. I think they are. So there's lots of Easter eggs in there. The pub is called the Sixpenny Memories, I think it is as well. So it's like, you know, you've got, it is, isn't it? So you've got all of these things. But yeah, I love it. But the new one, complete departure. I think anybody that's into a certain song contest is going to hopefully love it. But yeah, watch the space on that one, because I'll be talking more about that soon. But yeah, I love writing. I mean, it's one of those things that I do. The books do take a long time, especially this one, because like I say, it was on and off for the longest time. But yeah, I think everybody's got a book inside them. So Adam, get writing.
We need to talk. I have one on the laptop now. Quilling Me Softly, if anyone wants a lovely murder mystery, this is one of those books that I don't want to get to the end to. I'm 3/4 of the way through.
Which one?
And Quilling Me Softly, the murder mystery.
Oh, well, Quilling Me Softly.
Yeah, I'm 3/4 of the way through, and I don't want to finish it because I don't want to get to the end of it.
Well, you know, I've been asked, will there be a sequel or will there be a follow? Because it's straight. I mean, obviously, the reason I did the murder mystery as well, the Quilling Me Softly, is because I had the song contest one kind of ready to go, and publishers were saying, oh, it's all about cozy crime at the moment. I mean, publishing, like any business, sort of follows trends. And because Richard Osman's books had done so well, the Murder Club, Thursday Murder Club and stuff, it was like, oh, it's all about cozy crimes. So I thought, well, I've thought about cozy crime for ages, and I thought, well, I've got to set it around a craft group, because that makes perfect sense, because write about what you know. So I literally did that one in 3 months. I sat down in 3 months. I actually gave myself trigger finger, which I still have to this day from like typing so much. But it's one of my books. I mean, I think the reaction to that book was probably one of the best that I've ever had, because obviously it was so relevant to so many people. But I mean, I know one of the directors here recently sort of like asked if I could get a copy for his girlfriend, and sort of said because she would love to read it. And he came back to me and was like afterwards like she really enjoyed it. It's a really good book. So
Amazing.
I'm very proud of what I've done. It's like, I mean, I've always said I want to be constantly challenged in life. So it's not the end of my writing journey with this book. It's like, I mean, if I've done 9, I've got to do 10th at some point just to get it to double figures. But yes, it does take a lot of time. But it's, again, it's that enjoyment thing. I like, you know, if somebody phones up and says that they've genuinely enjoyed my books or podcast or whatever, I don't sit there going like, oh, thanks, they're good, aren't they? It's just, I just love the fact that somebody has taken the time to sit in bed and read it, or has taken you know an hour at that time to listen to the podcast, and has actually enjoyed it, because I want to. I don't know. I suppose I want to entertain people, and I don't mean that in a kind of like, you're the man for that. You know what I mean? It's like you're the showman. But I just want people to get something from it, as in it takes them away from whatever's going on in life and immerses them in a little world that they are enjoying for a wee while.
Joe Venison says, love Nigel's books, pure escapism, and we need more. There is one on its way. There really is. Talking about a special song contest, the Eurovision. You are renowned for your Eurovision knowledge and your 80s pop. It is a big thing in your life. Where did the love of Eurovision come from?
Okay, so there is a story here. So you know that I live in Brighton.
Yes.
My life has gone full circle. The first TV show that I ever remember watching was the 1974 Eurovision Song Contest when ABBA won, and that was held in Brighton. I remember watching it, and they had the Wombles. I don't know whether you remember the Wombles.
I remember one was a Wimbledon.
There
Oh,
you go.
common money.
Underground, all of that.
Yes.
So the Wombles were the interval act, and they were running around Rottingdean Windmill and going on the pier and all of that, and doing these things that, you know, I was just fascinated by. Plus, I thought Katie Boyle, who the lady that presented the show, was just like the most glamorous deity of a woman that I'd ever seen. She was just fabulous. And I just loved the whole glamour of the contest and the whole, almost like the ridiculousness of it as well. I mean, I know people are like, oh, it's just a stupid contest. No, it's not. I mean, if you go into the history of the 1974 one, there was lots of things that kind of like, you know, really worked well. That period, there was lots of things that were going on behind the scenes. Like one song was used to start a revolution, but you know, you go and have Google that online. Honestly, it's bonkers. But I just remember falling in love with it. And I mean, ABBA, like of all the groups that I've loved in life, it's like ABBA will always be my number one. Always, always, always. And it just started my interest. And I remember like watching it on and off from then on in. And I love it now, being back in Brighton. It's like, for me, it's like, you know, there's a plaque on the outside of the Brighton Dome where ABBA won. And it's like, you know, ABBA won here. And that gives me goosebumps. Every time I go to the Brighton Dome to see somebody perform, it's like, I just think, oh, ABBA were on that stage. And I just love it. I mean, I love going there. I didn't go for years. I started going to Eurovision about 2015. So I'd not been before. I was invited once as a journalist to go back in 1990. Nice. I think it was, but I couldn't go because my friends were getting married on that day, which I was gutted. But yeah, it's my happy place. It really is. I mean, in another world, let's be honest, I would love to be presenting Eurovision. It's like that's the bag that I would really, really, really love in life. But is that going to happen? Unlikely. But you know what? You can manifest most things in life, so never say never. But I mean, you know, that would be a dream. That would be an absolute dream.
That would be a dream. That'd be a good dream as well.
And I speak French. So I could drop in the languages. I'll be all right with French, and then I'll pick up a bit of German or something. I'll be fine.
Oh, well, you're laughing then, laughing. Talking about celebrities and things like this, doing my research once again, and I do listen, it's on my podcast thing. It's a gay old time. This is something that is for everyone. It genuinely is for everyone. And I think it opens the doors to a conversation that people are still scared of to this day. I genuinely think people are still scared to talk about it. What started? We know you worked for Gadio, and you do that for the love of Gadio. Yeah. You do it you don't get paid for it. You just do it for the love of doing radio and keeping your foot in there. So where did A Gay Old Time come from? You're 48 episodes in now with some of the biggest names that are out there that you pull these, and I see your little reels and stuff, and I'm like, how on earth has he pulled these names out the bag? I know you've still got John Barrowman coming up, and
Yeah.
he doesn't do interviews for anyone since all the scandal and all that.
Well,
So
I've got to say, I mean, that for me was an absolute joy through managing to get hold of John, because John's been on my wish list since season 1, which I launched at the start of 2024. And obviously he's had allegations made against him, and I think he obviously retreated into his shell and just didn't want to do any kind of press. To cut a long story short, basically, I wanted John to know that it was a safe space for him to talk about whatever, no judgment at all. I mean, I think John Barrowman is such a fabulous entertainer. I'm going to say that right now.
I'm
I think when it comes to like an all-rounder who has entertained people and put smiles on faces for like the longest time, there's nobody bigger or better, quite frankly. And he agreed to do the podcast, and obviously, I've been very respectful. Like I said before, I always respect people. So, he's had a copy of it before anything goes to air. It will be going onto YouTube as well. I mean, normally they're not. They're always filmed on things like this. But yeah, that one will be going onto YouTube because John has requested it. That lands Wednesday week. I think it's July the 2nd. I think if I remember rightly the date. And I'm really pleased with that. That's a really good read. It's a long podcast. It's about an hour and a half, hour and 3/4, which I thought at first, no, that's way too long. But I played it to my husband Al and various people, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, no, it's completely captivating. So I'm really excited about that. But yes, to answer your question, so Gadio I've worked on for probably since I first went to Brighton, so about 8-9 years ago now, or maybe 7-8 years, whatever. And I wanted to go and work at Gadio because I love the station for what it stands for, because there was certainly no representation for LGBTQ plus people or on that positive scale. It certainly wasn't a radio station when I was growing up. And I think for me, I wanted to prove that gay life did not end at 35, so I wanted to do a show that allowed me to air my opinion as an elder gay, or call me whatever you want, really. But I've been through a lot of stuff. My journey on that front has not always been easy because of family acceptance or whatever. So I just wanted to show my pride in who I am in that arena. And as the stars had aligned, they were opening up Gadio Brighton. So I ended up going to see the boss, and he was like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, I want to do a show, but I haven't done a radio show since the days of hospital radio, when I used to get the 7-inch singles out and put it on the deck. So it was a long time ago. So I then, he said, well, if we teach you the desk, would you do it? And I was like, I'd love to. So I ended up doing a 2 a.m. till 7 a.m. show on a Monday night, which was pre-recorded. So that's not like I had to sit there in the middle of the night. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but yes, it was pre-recorded. So I did that for a wee while, and then, long story short, I ended up on doing Saturday morning for Brighton, and then also the national show on the Sunday night, wrapping up the weekend. And they never asked me to interview people. They never asked me to put celebrities on, but it just was something that I wanted to do. And I think because of my journalism days, it's I'm still quite well connected, I suppose. I mean, I've got this nickname of Dermot O'Periphery because I'm always on the periphery of everything. It's I know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. And it's become now one of the, I hope one of the flagship shows. And it's the celebrities or the PRs do come to me, as well as the breakfast show and stuff, to do stuff. And it's an absolute honor to be on that radio station. I just adore doing it because, like I say, I'm 56, but I wanted to prove that there's still life in the gay old dog yet. Do you know what I mean? So, but with the gay old time, it's something that I'd done for a long, long time. And I think, we live in an era now where I was looking for another hook to hang my hat on, as it were. And I thought, well, I should do a podcast. And everybody had said you should do a podcast. And I was like, well, I had this idea of a gay old time. And it had to be a gay old time because I wanted to speak to celebrities of a certain age who had had a story to tell. So, my story, like I say, wasn't particularly easy at times, and I think I wanted the podcast to be an education for maybe younger listeners within the queer community, but also an education for other people, when they're listening in about people's stories. You're so used to hearing an interview with somebody about your latest single or your new TV show or whatever, but you don't always get to hear about. I had Noel Sullivan on from Hearsay recently, and I didn't even realise he was gay when he was in the band, because obviously it was so hush hush and so covered up. So to actually sort of hear his story and how it wasn't the happiest of times for him was a real education, because you see, you see things on TV or on social media these days and you think it's all happy, happy, happy. I just wanted to maybe, a bit like, you do here, just sort of get behind that veneer and just talk about the journey, because if somebody's journey to where they are now, when they are now in a good place, they have triumphed, and that triumph needs to be heralded. It needs to be celebrated. And also, I just genuinely love chatting to people. You probably guessed, it's like I could stay here all day with this, couldn't we? But it's like I genuinely love chatting to people. I genuinely love finding out their story, and just, I'm a nosy person at the end of the day, I suppose. There you go. But yeah, so gay old time. I'm thrilled with the way that it's gone. The dream would be to take it on tour, to make it a theatre show.
Nice.
That would be the dream. Again, never say never. I'm a great one of believing or trying to manifest my dreams. It's like, let's listen to your soul and not your ego. Let's say, what do you really want? So yeah, I would like to see where that goes, but I'm certainly enjoying the ride where it is at the moment. And it feels like it's going in the right direction. And it feels like I'm putting good out into the world. And that for me is at my very epicenter. That's what I want to do, is just put things out there that people enjoy.
And I think you are. As I say, the responses here are amazing. Jennifer says, do you think it's easier now for people to declare their speciality now than when you did? So basically, do you think it's easier now to come out than it was, maybe?
Absolutely, because the world is more accepting. I mean, we are now in a time, I won't get my soapbox, but we are in a time when, for certain elements of the queer community, namely the trans community, the world is going backwards, which I think is horrific. But I have been told at certain points in my career, don't tell people you're queer. So, that automatically brands you. Well, let's use a crafty term. That naturally embosses you with a bit of shame. Do you know what I mean? So you kind of, if you are told that you're not to be your authentic self, and that's something I've always wanted to be. Well, this is something I always am. I don't really think I have a choice. It's like, I don't think I can turn off my queerness, campness, gayness, call it what you will. It's like, it's just me. It's not the most important thing in my life by any stretch of the imagination, but it is just part and parcel of me. So yeah, I've never hidden it. I've never, hopefully forced it upon people and been like, it's like, I talk about my husband because I love my husband in the same way that another presenter would talk about their wife, their partner, whoever. So I have nothing to hide. I have no shame now, and I did have shame for a long time, but I have no shame now of who I am. So yeah, I think, to answer your question again, it's like, I think, yes, it's easier for people to come out now. I think coming out back in the day, it was almost something you had to brew up to, and it was like, you pick your moment and like, I've got to come out, and it's like, my mum's going to hate this, which she did, but you automatically think it's going to be, you catastrophize straight away. But I think now it's easier for people to come out. I think for anybody to live their true, authentic life and be happy, you have to live that true, authentic life. So, yeah. But everybody's journey is different. So I can only talk about my journey. I can't critique anybody else's journey. That's their individual journey. But yes, it is definitely, I feel, easier to be accepted now for your sexuality. And there's so many more beautiful facets to like gender expression now than there ever was. This is very deep for Craft O'Clock, isn't it? Blimey.
This is what we do. This is what we do. A couple more. I've got a few more questions, and I'm going to open it to the floor. There's a few questions that I've starred that we'll go back to that we've spoke about. But it's two of the main ones really. Is we get tarred a lot on TV, on social, with a lot of negativity. We put ourselves there. It's what we do for a living, and we all know what we do for a living. We bring ourselves into people's living rooms. They've got a choice whether they watch it or not. That's totally down to them. But I think I do like covering this because I think it opens up that we are real people. That what do you do about, let me rephrase the question. Does the negativity still affect you now that you read on social media? Do you still read it? I know I read it, but it doesn't affect me like it used to. And does it still give you a knockback, or is it water off a duck's back? You know what? I've done there, I've been there. It doesn't affect me anymore.
Yes. I mean, it doesn't affect me. I don't read stuff, I'll be honest. It's like I used to. I mean, especially when I was putting the books out as well, like I would read every review, and like any bad review, I would like literally be like, oh, people hate me. But then, you've got to take the good with the bad, haven't you? So it's two sides of the same coin. Like you say, we put ourselves out there, we're on TV, so people feel they can talk about you. I've had all sorts said about me over the years. It's like light bulb head, golem fingers. I don't know what that even means, but it's like I just remember being called that and thinking that's odd. There are people that don't like me. There are people that do like me, and that's natural for everybody out there. The great thing about any channel that I've worked on is the variety of people that are on air. So people will tune into my shows because they like what I do. They may not tune into my shows because they don't like what I do. It's like that's just how it is. I have got to a stage in life where I don't care what people think. And I don't mean that I don't care about people. I very much care about people. But I can't change people's opinions. I can't make other people like me. I don't, if I'm being authentic again, to use that phrase, then if people want to judge me, that's their right. I may not like their opinion, but I respect the fact that everybody has an opinion. So it's like if they want to have their opinion, I mean, my opinion is like if there's somebody, if there's something that irks me, I'm not likely to sit on X or Instagram or whatever and be like, oh, I hate that person, because it's like I just don't see what that benefits anybody really. But I just it has affected me over the years. It's like it's bound to, because everybody wants to be liked. That's the natural thing. But I feel for me as a shopping telly presenter, as a craft telly presenter, if I come off a show and I feel that we've done everything we can to make that show as good as it possibly could be, that the guest is happy, all of that. I mean, those are the things that are important for me. I hope everybody watching enjoyed it as well. But if there's somebody out there that doesn't like something that I've said or whatever, then yes, of course, I respect the fact that that didn't land nicely with somebody or whatever. But if you start worrying about things like that, you will literally, get into a whole maelstrom of worry for like forever and a day, wouldn't you? So there's no point. It's nice to be liked, of course it is, but you can't please everybody all of the time, can you?
It's very, 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 very true. Right then, a few more. We're going quick fire.
Okay.
Okay. There's only a few of them, but we're going quick.
I've got to say, this is fabulous.
This is what we do in that very warm cupboard that you are currently in. Is it roasting in there?
Yeah, it's quite hot. I look like I'm wearing my pajamas as well today, I've got to say. But yes, I may have to freshen up pre 1 o'clock. I'm not going to lie.
At the back of home, just got shorts and shorts on under this desk.
I've got shorts on as well. I will be honest. It's like the shorts are on too. So there you go.
It's the pack. Right, quick fire. Here we go. Let's start with ABBA or Dead or Alive, as we know you'll love your 80s pop legends.
Oh, that's a really hard one, because Pete Burns, I think, was so inspirational. It used to be me round one of my ultimate tunes, one of my favourite tunes ever. But if we're going to go for like an entire back catalogue of songs, it's got to be ABBA, but Dead or Alive are brilliant.
Steak and kidney pie or a curry night?
So, steak kidney pie or?
Curry night.
Oh, gosh, steak kidney pie and heavy on the kidney. I had this conversation yesterday with somebody saying that my husband makes some brilliant steak kidney pie or pudding, but it has to be heavy on the kidney. I'm a massive offal fan.
Oh.
I love it. Honestly, love it.
Dream interview guest. Dream interview guest, living or past?
Oh gosh, Dolly Parton, Miriam Margolyes. I'm desperately trying to get a hold of Russell T Davies at the moment for gay old time. Nice. That would be cool. But Dolly Parton, I would love to interview. Grace Jones. Oh, I think she would terrify me. Or Cher. Love to interview Cher.
Do you still get nervous?
I have adrenaline. It's like before every show. I never take any show for granted. I never take anything for granted, to be honest. But yes, it's like you can't go into a show with, oh, here we go again. It's like, I mean, here at Hobbymaker, we do shows back to back, which I love. I mean, I love that because it keeps your energy levels going. But yeah, I mean, every show is important. And somebody might be like dipping into that TV show at, 20 past 1, or it might be 10 to 4. So you've got to make sure that you can't look bored. You can't look, like you don't want to be there. You can't look flat. So yeah, what was the question? I forgot what the question was. Do I
dreaming to be
nervous?
guest.
No, I have adrenaline before a show because I
Or you
want
do
to
get
be
nervous.
sure that, it's a nervous energy, but it's not so much like I'm, shaking like a nervous dog. It's like I am just, excited about the show and wanting it to go well.
Favourite, or where would be your favourite fictional setting that you haven't written about yet?
Oh, that's a good question.
I know.
Uh,
Thank you.
I would like to go to where would I? Because that's the thing. When I did write the books, I mean, most of them were places that I'd been because it was like I'd be there with the jotter writing everything down. I would like to go to. There's an island that I saw on the TV that has massive statues, and I don't think there's a lot there apart from these statues. Easter Island. And I don't think it would be good for like a setting in a book, really, to be honest, because I don't think a massive amount of stuff would happen. No, do you know what's sod that? I'd have a murder mystery on Easter Island. There you go.
Love it. Last and final question before I let you go. Do you still enjoy what you do?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I wouldn't do because I've got to that stage, like I say, where I don't really care what other people think, which again is a positive thing, but I care about the people. I just don't care if they judge me wrongly. Yes, it's like if I don't do, I've also reached that stage where it's like if I don't like doing something, I don't really think I need to do it. I mean, I love working here. It's a great bunch of people. We have fun. We have fun on air. The viewers are warm and receptive. And crafting as a community is it's a very warm room, as warm as this one, quite frankly.
Very warm.
But the day that I stop enjoying it, for whatever reason, is the day that I stopped doing it. And I think, to go back to one of your previous conversations, there was an element of that coming in for me towards the end of my time at the previous channel, is I just thought with the goalposts that were being put there, I wasn't able to enjoy it fully. And I just didn't want to do that. If I can't do something to the, ultimate of my capabilities and my enjoyment, then what's the point? We only get one life, so let's enjoy it.
Sticking on brand, because I know management are watching. What have you got coming up today?
Oh, today's a good day. Every day's a good day, but morning management, by the way. I like this. This is so what have we got coming up today? We have got Nat from Hunky Dory in. She is bringing some brand new exclusive things for us, which is very exciting. Obviously, we're on day 6 now of the 12 days of Christmas. So that's exciting. So lots of festive stuff. Debbie Robinson is in for a Crafter's Companion. I love Debbie. Literally one of my favourite people in life. So she is in with some great deals. We've also got in today. Oh, I knew you were going to ask me this, so I made sure I knew everybody. Who's the other person that's in today that I've got? Kat, who is watching this, will be screaming at me now, going like,
Well,
it's that.
She's currently typing. I can tell you in a minute as soon as she tells me.
As soon as she says, I'll be like, yeah, of course it is.
Naomi's in.
No, Craft Buddy. Craft Buddy. Naomi, yes, Naomi's in as well. Thanks, Kat. So she's in today as well. So yeah, so it's going to be a good day.
Nigel May, thank you so much for popping in on Crafter Clark. We need to do it again very, very soon, and hopefully this time we'll do it in person.
Yeah, that'd be good. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and thanks everybody. Obviously, I know lots of people have written in questions and stuff. It's been an absolute treat. So thank you very much indeed. Perfect way to start the Sunday. Although a paddling pool would have been good.
That's where we're off to now. Thank you, Nigel May. You're a legend.
Take care. Lots of love. See you soon.
Bye. The one and only Nigel May. Yes, indeed. The legend that is the one and only Nigel May. I can get rid of this QR code now, I think, because it's right in my way. If you want to know what's going on today, that is the QR code that you are going to need. Just here, and that will take you to the how to make a Facebook page. Tomorrow, it's really in the way, that QR code, isn't it? Tomorrow, I'm back in the studio where Nigel was. I'm back there tomorrow with Princess Pinflair. 35 years of Pinflair. We were going to be digging in deep and finding out how it all started, where she sees it going, because I've known her for 5 years and she's meant to be retiring. So we're going to find that out tomorrow, 11 o'clock, Crafter Clark. Join me then. We've also got outro music. Kat, I know you're listening. I've put you in it as well. Thank you very much for joining in. We'll be more like this. If you like what you see, remember, don't forget to give us a like. Like us on all the pages that we're currently on. We're going to try and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And also, one more thing, tell a friend. Tell a friend we are here. Thank you for joining in on this live. I will see you tomorrow, bright and breezy, at 11 o'clock, where we have the legend that is Pinflair. And on Tuesday, we're doing a little bit of centangling. We're going to try and get some amazing deals. For myself, Adam, I will see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thank you very much. Bye now.
Paper, glitter, glue in hand. Adam's guiding like he planned. Cat behind the scenes, so sly, making magic, watch it fly. Hobby maker, it's our show. In a blue in hand, interviews and crafts that go. Cappy B, craft the ground, scissors, let's create. Craft the clock, we just can't. Craft the clock, we just can't wait. Turn the music, feel the beat. Crafting rhythm can't be beat. Interviews and tips to share. Creative vibes are in the air. From the screen to your desk. Crafting minds at their best. Cat and Adam lead the way. Craft the clock makes our day.